Beloved, November 7th, 2019, in a dream, I was inside a building and the people were preparing to have a talk or exhortation. While they waited for the person who was going to give the exhortation, they were aware of themselves, that they were well groomed and dressed up. They took out mirrors. They went to the bathroom to continue fixing themselves. I only saw two persons asking for help from others so that everything was ready, but they were all focused on themselves. After this, they went behind the church in the backyard of it, and there was an activity. I saw how some were preparing to help others, but there were others who took advantage of this activity to do evil. They abused the people of scarce resources that did not have the visible status that they had. I was seeing all this. There was a lot of food there. Little animals approached, but they behaved like animals, although they had a full plate. They did not even want to share the crumbs with the animals, unless with the people who they thought were inferior. At that moment, I saw this, and began to sound lightning, thunder, and it began to rain, and they began to go away. And when I saw them withdraw, my husband and I realized that there were some children that they had left there. These were little brothers, that one person entrusted another there to take care of them, but that person left and left them. The children were very sad. They had been violated with jokes and teasing because they were children who had simple clothes. At that moment, I saw that one of them had lost his coat because they took it off and he was getting wet. We went to them to pick them up and put them on the vehicle we were riding in. And at that moment, when we wanted to mount them in the car, they did not want because they were very sorry for the animals that were there, which had also been abused during the activity. So not knowing what to do with the animals, we also grabbed them. We mounted them together with the children in the car, and we advanced to take them to their place. At that time, we were on our way to take them to their homes, and we passed through an urbanization of the city, and there was a very big riot. We saw many people with sticks and other objects, and they were going after people who were quietly walking the streets. So we advanced to get out of that bustle, and while the cars passed, the angry people hit the cars, including our car. We were among those violent people, and you could see that they were out of their minds. We passed that place and went in the direction of where the children had to be left. When we asked the children to tell us the address of their house to take them there, the older one began to give us instructions, and so we gradually approached the place of their destination, where their parents were waiting for them. At one point, the big boy said, "We're here." We stopped. We looked. We did not see a house. We only saw a forest with something half open in the middle of it. I said, "How is it that you reached?" I thought the house will be behind the trees and we will have to walk on foot. But they reaffirmed that they had arrived. They told us to leave them there. We did not want to leave them alone. I told them, "If you have to walk through the forest, we will accompany you." We got out of the car and began to walk with them. We went to the open place, and we arrived at the place where there were leafy trees. The children were in front of us, and we were carrying their packages. When entering a few steps inside the leafy trees, these children were transformed into extremely large angels. They were beautiful. A radiant light emanated from them. It was beautiful to see them. They turned around. They looked at us. We could see that they were in front of us, but their faces shone so much that we couldn't see the expressions on their faces, but in their gestures and how they moved their heads, I felt that they were grateful. At that moment, they rose towards the sky, and we lost sight of them. We were astonished at that event. We then went back to the car with our mind on what had happened, and almost reaching the car, we realized that the violence we had seen in the city had reached this street where we had left the car. So we stayed behind the trees to take refuge. We did not know what to do because there were many violent people. At that time, I was told some texts, Ezekiel chapter 2 and Zechariah chapter 4. May God grant that each one of us can realize that only surrendering ourselves to the life that God wants from each one of us is the safe way. May the Lord bless you.